You can see that. And there it is. Imagine it becoming bigger and so Manan, you've agreed to help me out with this. So you've known me for quite a while. You've seen the sort of stuff I do. And just for the people at home, because this is the first thing that they think, we haven't set anything up. I haven't asked you, please play along, please say yes, nothing like that, right? Be completely honest. Perfect. Now people at home won't know this, but you're a musician, right? You're a drummer. How long have you been doing that for?
Like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Interesting. So you started when you were quite young, actually. Alright. Would you say you're an imaginative person?
I guess.
Like you try to create original music, you were telling me that you jam, and that's actually one of the more difficult things to do when you're jamming with strangers, essentially. So let's try this out. This is an imagination exercise. I've tied a string to this ring. Could you just hold on to this in your right hand? As you do that, just raise it slightly for me. You can come closer for this. Just look right at the very tip of that ring. And in your head, begin to imagine that it starts to move in a circle. Imagine that circle getting bigger and bigger, just a well-defined circle. Really imagine that. Take a deep breath of air in. And as you let it out, imagine that circle gets bigger and bigger. Perfect. Imagine that becoming. You can see that, right? You can see that?
I guess.
Look really closely. Imagine that circle just gets bigger and bigger. Imagine it struggles with itself for a second and starts moving back and forth then. Instead of in a circle, you see it moving back and forth. And just like that, it starts to move from side to side. You can see that. And just as easy, you can go back into a circle. And there it is. Imagine it becoming bigger and clearer and clearer. Well, more and more well defined. You can relax your arm now. That's weird, right?
Yeah.
That's something that they in the 1800s in England, they actually used, a lot of psychics used this to convince their sitters of their powers. But the scientific explanation for that is that when you think of something so clearly, when you imagine something, your brain sends tiny microsignals down your arm, which which is amplified by this thread, which leads to the weight at the bottom to start moving around into whatever shape you imagine. But the interesting thing is that if you can learn to pick up on these microsignals, you can actually do something greater than this. Do you want to try something out? I'm just gonna have you. Can you think of maybe your favorite musician? Now, again, don't make this obvious. Just think of your favorite musician. You have it, right? Whoever he or she is, just put your hand right there in front of me. Just hold on to that. And I'm not gonna say anything, but just keep it there now. Look right at me. Look right into my eyes. Take a deep breath of air in, and just slowly let it out. Now don't say anything. It's essential you don't verbalize this. There's only one question I'm going to ask you. It's a guy or a girl? Is it a man or a woman? Just tell me that.
Guy.
It's a guy. That's the only thing I'm going to ask you to verbalize. For the rest of this, please stay as quiet as you can, but look right at me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, wait, sorry, H, I, J, K, L. There's an L in there, yes, somewhere. Imagine this person's name, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Take a deep breath of air in. K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Imagine saying this person's name in your mind. Imagine spelling it out. For example, the first letter. Imagine seeing the first letter on your thumb. Imagine that letter becoming 10 times as larger. Just think over this whether it's an A, B, C, D, E. That's an E, right? That's an E, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Could you actually think of a letter somewhere in the middle, like, of this person's name?
What?
Of this person's name, can you think of a letter somewhere in the middle in your mind?
Okay.
So you changed your mind there. You thought about going for an R, you changed your mind to a P or an L at the last second. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's exactly okay. The first instinct that I get, don't say anything, but just think whether this is an older musician, someone who's not alive anymore, or is it someone who's still making me. So you already start nodding along, so it is an older musician. Don't even let me complete my sentence there. Look right at me. Can you imagine saying this person's name again and again and again? Don't actually verbalize this. Can you open your mouth slightly for me? Just like so. And just repeat this person's name over and over again in your mind, just louder and louder. Imagine doing this so loud that everyone here can hear you. Look at me. I might be off slightly. Could you actually just hand me one of those cards and just the pen over there? Not your own, obviously. Perfect. Don't say anything. Just think of this person's name. Count the number of letters. This is the person who goes by two names, right? Like the first and the second name. Can you think of the sort of music this person makes? Can you think of one of their songs in your head? Maybe the tune, the lyrics, if you remember. Imagine hearing this. So it's more like, it's not like pop or rock or something. It's more classic, like 60s jazz or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Look at me. My handwriting is garbage, but this is the best I can do. Can you read that? Don't say anything. Can you see that? For the first time, and you haven't written this down, you haven't told me this before, but for the first time, what musician did you think of?
Elvis Presley.
And that's Elvis Presley. Thank you so much for helping me out.